हेलो नमस्ते, माय नेम इज निधि नागोरी एंड वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। सो आप जानते ही होंगे कि ये जो करंट हमारा इंटरव्यू सीरीज चल रहा है विद संजना, ये बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग और मोटिवेटिंग है। अगर आपने लास्ट वीडियो नहीं चेकआउट किया है, विच इज इफ यू हैवंट चेक्ड आउट द लास्ट वीडियो, प्लीज डू। आई एम एडिंग द लिंक इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स बिलो बिकॉज दैट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू अ गुड सेंस ऑफ व्हाट रियली द स्टोरी इज अबाउट। और हम बात कर चुके हैं कि कैट एग्जाम कैसा है, स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, किस तरीके की प्रिपरेशन चाहिए, एटसेट्रा. Of course, Sanjana went from somebody who did not do very well in first semester in college, did not make it in CAT in 2017, to somebody who goes on to write CAT in 2019, gets interviews from all the top B schools, and converts 100% of them. She got admits from IIM, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta. So in this video, we're going to focus on what was the preparation strategy that she used to make sure that all her interviews convert. क्योंकि हर कॉलेज की रिक्वायरमेंट अलग होती है, तो हम जानेंगे उनसे कि किस तरीके की स्ट्रैटेजीज उन्होंने यूज किए. And wasn't this whole process demotivating for her? Because think of it, you write something in 2017, it doesn't work out. You want to write it in 2018, but again, something is beyond your control and you're not able to do it again. And then you go in 2019 and you write it and you basically make the most out of it. So how does that happen? How do you prepare for an IIM interview? All of those details will be shared. Before you move on into the video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. For all the BTS, make sure you follow my Instagram. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. और अब सीधा चलते हैं संजना से बात करने के लिए. Let's go. So, guys, we're still talking to Sanjana, and बहुत ही amazing हमने उनकी जो है journey सुनी. You know, you come from, you're a school topper. You come from that level. You get options from all the best colleges that you like. You pick up your choice. You basically, there's a table जहाँ पे you have all these food options available, and you can make a pick. All of them are as good as each other. You get to make a pick. She picks up something. First semester, things don't work out. So she's like, okay, this is a reality check. I need to get back on track. Now she works very hard, does everything perfectly, sits for college campus. She's like, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to write CAT. I'm going to get a good job. 2017, CAT doesn't work out. And again, you know, this is a rewind because in college it's happened once. There is a one semester where she hasn't done well. And so this is taking her back to that. And then she doesn't stop. She goes and writes CAT again in 2019 and gets admits from the top 3 institutes of our country. So guys, if you haven't watched that video, make sure you do, because it's an amazing, amazing piece of video. And the only reason why I'm doing 2 videos is with her is because this is a story that needs to be told. If you don't make it in the first time, she's not made it in the first time in college also, first semester. She's not made it in the first time in an exam like CAT. And this is the woman that's sitting right in front of you and telling you you can still do it. Yes, weigh your priorities. Yes, do it only if you feel that you can stretch enough and do it. But when you're in and when you're giving in, give your 100%. So thank you, Sanjana, for being so candid with us. I think in today's world, not most people are okay being real, and not most people are okay talking about their failures. I think that's very different about you, and maybe that is
Thank
what
you
makes
so
you stand
much.
out. You know, maybe that is why out of a bunch of so many people in the country, you're the one who one of the few ones who gets admits from all the 3 top institutes. And to be honest, coming from a modest background, because I've also been at that stage once, and I know it's not easy to give up a paying job, because what you're giving up is your financial security, and it's
Exactly.
not easy. It's just especially when you don't have anyone else funneling in any kind of money into your bank accounts every month. I can tell you is the most difficult thing. And you would not worked really long enough. If you work for 6-7 years, you have enough amount of savings. Yes, it is easy to maybe take that
Right.
decision then. But no, when you've just started working and you're like out of college and it's only been 1 or 2 years, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you don't have the backing. So I'm sure that the kind of risk you took is something that only you will know for life. And I'm sure it was extremely risky, and it was a big gamble, and it had to pay off, because I'm sure you had that confidence that I'm going to do it this time. That whatever it takes, I'm all in. If
Right.
it happens, it happens this time. Otherwise, this is a closed chapter. So of course, for that conviction, I think you were always that matured. So you had that conviction in your own self. There was no self-doubt, at least in 2019, when you went in and wrote, and you weren't trying to do too many things. You were prioritizing. So you
Right.
you get through the exams. You get invites from these big colleges, and of course you've been preparing for it. But what happens is, sometimes we're so busy preparing for success that when it happens, we don't know how to react to it. And in CAT or in exams like CAT, you can only prepare for the exam. You're not really preparing for the interview part. So
Right.
when you get the call, what really happens, first of all, and then how do we prepare for making to ensure that all the effort that we've put into the exam converts in the interview section, or in the interview piece, and then how do you prepare for the interview, and what is it that you basically did? What was your journey like?
Right. So there's about a month that most of us get between the results, when CAT results are out, and the actual interview date. So this
Okay.
is in most of the cases. Some people are unlucky and they have like 2 weeks or just 1 week also. But at least 2 months. In my case, I got about 2 months, which was super amazing. I had entire January on my plate, and I had entire February also on my plate. My first interview
Mhm.
happened 5th of March.
And so
So
do
all
the colleges call you, and they give you the date that, hey, you're going to get interviewed on this date?
right.
Okay.
So as soon as you get a call, also get, there's usually a form that you have to fill. Some some colleges give you an interview slot as soon as they give you the call. Some
Mm-hmm.
colleges have a form. Like IIM Ahmedabad has a form that you have to fill, and as soon as you submit your profile and your application, you get an interview slot also.
Mm.
Bangalore has a form where there are two references involved. So you get two letters of recommendation for that form, and you put in your entire profile. And FMS has a form where you have to write your SOP and your career goals, and you really have to put in a lot of effort in that form. So these forms are there, but you do get your interview dates pretty soon, in like a week or so of the CAT results, and you know when your interviews are happening. I was really lucky, very fortunate, very blessed that I got 2 complete months. My interviews were like, I had one on 5th, I had one on 7th, I had one on 8th, I had on 13th, 14th, and like it was a continuous series of interviews without any breathers also. Like
And this is
sometimes
all in March.
all in March. I'm sitting for my Lucknow interview today, and in my head, I know that I have Ahmedabad tomorrow. And both are important to me. I want to convert both.
Oh, wow.
Fortunately, I converted all. But then in that moment, you really doubt.
So you converted all the interviews that you sat for.
Exactly, all of it. It was like a dream come true because, the top ones are there, but then there's rarely ever that you have 100% conversion in your life. I mean,
Absolutely. And
so,
from where you
and
came.
exactly. So this was very, very life-changing experience for me. I had thought that okay, I'll make it to a dream-based school, but getting accepted by all the IIMs of the country was just another, like two steps beyond my dreams also. And then
Mhm.
just sit back and breathe, and keep yourself updated with what is happening around the world, but just don't let stress take the best of you.
Mhm.
Take proper sleep, take enough of your diet. So yes, I skipped this bit in the CAT video, but the fact that I could not sit for CAT 2018 was because my health did not permit. I got typhoid around the month of November, and I even when I had registered for the exam, I could not get out of bed and go for the exam. So that is something, since in India CAT happens only once a year, and like unlike GRE and GMAT, you can't just give it any time or like book any slot for it. You really have to be cautious of your health also around this time. Like take good precautions, have a good diet, have enough water, and just be and stay healthy no matter what your level of preparation is. Take good sleep and just focus on keeping your health up tight also. So this whole exercise of introspection also needs to be done in this application phase. And
Mm.
I think all of this also takes a toll, and you have little to no time left for the interview preparation bit, the technical preparation bit, and all of that. So January goes by like this, and then comes February. So there are 6 to 7 brackets where you can, in which you can club your interview preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly, so the top IIMs have only personal interview and written ability test. Most of the processes at top B schools are such that they have a written ability test first before your personal interview. And this written ability test is focused around your writing skills, how well you can articulate, and what is the logical flow in your written pieces. And apart from that, a bit of your technical knowledge. How much do you know about what's happening around the world? Because these usually come from topics that are related to general knowledge, or something that you should be ideally aware of as a B school aspirant. So my Bangalore written ability test was about how the manufacturing sector in India is doing, and what can we do. It had some of the stats about the manufacturing sector in India and what we can do to push it up. And so this requires a lot of knowledge, extensive knowledge about what are the key areas within manufacturing space. And if there is something that is going wrong, then what is it that is going wrong? What is the predominant player, that is China, as we all know, is the predominant player in the global space, in the manufacturing space. So, so a lot of general awareness is being tested in this process, and also how you derive solutions. Okay, we gave you a problem that the manufacturing sector of India is not doing well. Now, how do you solve this? How do you, as in a position of leadership, would like to solve this? What changes would you like to make in the economy? How would you like to go about it? So there are so many things being tested in this. And these come in handy only if you're well read, and if you read the paper regularly, if you read magazines regularly. And some B schools also have a GD, group discussion. So here also reading a lot and knowing and general awareness comes in very handy. And something that I would suggest for GDs is that so our batch did not have many GDs because COVID happened, and then GDs were not feasible. So that also had happened for us. But in a business as usual scenario, GDs can be you can get good at GDs by making a conscious effort to sit for GDs with your friends, and try to sit for GDs with a moderator also. Like these CAT preparation institutes offer you a lot of mentors who can moderate your GDs and tell you where you're going wrong. So the personal interview preparation is usually divided into 6 to 7 brackets. It comes from a place that you need to know everything about yourself inside out, whatever you've done, whatever you plan to do. And some knowledge is also required of the B school that you're sitting for. Although that's not an overwhelmingly important aspect for them, but it's okay. Like, it's good if you know about the B school and the vision that B school has in particular, and how you can contribute to that vision. So taking this forward, the 6 to 7 brackets, the first one would be why MBA. And this is the most important bit, because most of the people who sit for CAT exam are not even aware of what they would like to do after an MBA, or what are they expecting out of an MBA. It's just a very sought after bag, and it's a good tag to have on the profile. But what is it that you really want out of that degree? I think even though I had a lot of clarity before sitting for this entire process, because I knew the space I was inclined to, I did not have the kind of clarity an MBA interview requires. So I did a lot of research around the space of how the public sector, or the public policy space, or the development space, or the sustainability space for that matter, is in need of seasoned business professionals today, just so that sustainability solutions can have a selling value. And I think researching about what you want to make a career in is the first step to answering this question well. I spoke to a lot of people who are already active in this space, and a lot of people from MBA and then switch to this space, a lot of people who have done an MPP and switched to some corporate job, people from all across, people from multilateral organizations, people from NGOs, from think tanks. And talking to them gave me so much clarity about what I really wanted for myself. And this aspect, this one question would also, in this one section would also involve your career goals. So why MBA and career goals I would give as one part. That, career goals, you should be aware of what you're looking for in the short term. Maybe your MBA, what exactly are you looking for from your MBA? And then post that, what is the kind of job that you're aiming for post an MBA? Is it going to be consulting, finance, any of the conventional types come on campus, or is it something that is very unconventional that you're planning to do? Because they really like people who come with a unique perspective and who don't want to follow the herd. So
Agreed.
that is also very unique and makes you stand out from the crowd. I think meditate a lot, or just any activity that makes them come home to themselves would work, as long as you're realizing the inside out of who you are, and that goes a long way. So this was the second aspect. Third, as I said, you have to know everything about whatever you've done so far. So you would have to know everything about the work experience that you have. What was the kind of job that you did? What were the kind of projects? Everything, the length and breadth around it, everything you should be aware of. Sometimes people are also questioned about the company that they work in. Who is the global CEO of this company? This was a scam this company was involved in. So one of my friends was working with PwC when he sat for the interview, and he was questioned about the Satyam scam. It's been such a long time since the Satyam scam ever happened.
Yeah.
He was still being questioned about it. And in general, a lot of awareness about your company and then the kind of projects that you did, and the kind, basically everything related to the functional expertise that you were exposed to and the sectoral expertise that you were exposed to. So another thing in knowing everything about yourself, the bachelor's degree, all the subjects that you studied are very, very important, but I would suggest the person picks up 4 foundation subjects at least. So in my Ahmedabad interview, I was asked what all did I study. I told them I studied microeconomics, macroeconomics, and econometrics. These were the major subjects that I was exposed to. But I also told them that microeconomics was my favorite. So just to give me a little boost, they started off with micro questions, but then they moved to the other 2 subjects also. There was like 10 minutes of questioning around micro, 10 minutes of questioning around macro, and then like 10 minutes of questioning around tricks. It was a very long interview. I had like a 45-minute long interview with IIM Ahmedabad. While in other interviews, it's generally observed that some brackets might be left also. But for Ahmedabad, if somebody gets a call from IIM Ahmedabad, they have really structured interviews where they know that we have to test everything in one go. So they do this. And then apart from that, you know about your city. One of my friends, he's from Jaipur, so he was asked about Jaipur Literature Festival, JLF, which happens there. So you should know what is happening in your city. And during my member interview, I was talking about the education space because I've done a project in that space. And then they were asking me how the Delhi government is working in this space. These interviews will try to test you how well you know your concepts of undergrad degree with how well you know about what is happening around you. Have you studied properly about the education sector in India, in your state? What is happening in your state? What is your state government doing? And do you know how to apply these concepts to what is happening in the real world? were you just a person who focused on just textbook learning and doesn't know how to, apply the same concepts when it comes to
Right.
reality? Yeah. So the next part is about knowing your hobbies. You should ideally know one hobby inside out. Like, just in case you do have one, just make sure you touch upon it very, very well before the interview. So that if basketball is your hobby and they ask you the dimensions of the basketball, the ball that is used,
Yeah.
you should know about it. And like
Okay.
the size of the court
Yeah.
also and things related to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So,
is there. And yes, I think majorly this is it.
okay. So seems like the interview is more about knowing who you are in and out, of course, like knowing why you want to do an MBA, where you want to go with it, what are your hobbies. So basically, it is about judging who you are absolutely in the deepest recesses of your soul. And then, of course,
Also,
how, yeah.
Nidhi, I missed one bit, which is general awareness, which is also very, very important. It's
Mm-hmm.
important to read at least one national daily and one business daily before the interview process. So, like
Okay.
for a month, I was reading the Hindu and the newspaper Mint on a very, very regular basis. Mint because I come from an economics background and I'm expected to be good at financial and business news, and I'm expected to be applying economics concepts to everything that's happening around the world.
Right.
So
Right.
that came in handy, and I would request all applicants who have gotten to be at shortlist in the future. So, even if they don't find time to read the entire newspaper every day, I think the Hindu and Indian Express have some brilliant editorial pieces. So even if you get a copy online and just go through the editorial pieces also, like not read the entire paper, but just the editorial bits,
Mm.
would give you a lot of perspective to some major events that are happening at the national and the local level also, but international majorly. So
Okay.
these perspectives are usually asked. You're very often asked to give your opinion about something that's happening in the economy or in the nation or international or some international platform.
Okay.
So these come in handy. Apart from that, I would just like to use other platforms which make things easier for aspirants. So there's a platform for UPSC preparation which is known as Insights IAS. I would spell it INSIGHTS So this platform gives out editorials in bullet forms.
True.
And there's this app called Napily. It starts with a KNAPPILY. So these they have snippets which cover one particular topic end to end. So they would
Okay.
start with the what, why, how, everything, and they do the 5WH analysis of each topic so that you know the inside out of the topic that they're addressing. And it's very, very good to general awareness.
Okay.
And for financial and business acumen, there's this app and website called FinShots, which helped me a lot. So for like those 2 months, I never missed any update from FinShots because they used to dissect every financial news and make it
Mm.
very simple to understand and cover all aspects related to it also. So that's a very brilliant platform that students can access, and it helps a lot in preparing your financial awareness in particular.
Okay. Okay. These are some great platforms. And of course, it doesn't seem like it's as easy as it seems. It's not like you've gotten a good score and you can go and crack an interview. It does need a lot of
Exactly.
work. So, no, thank you so much for sharing so many details with us. Of course, doing an MBA from a good institute is no joke. But I think from what I've learned so far is that it is about who you are, where you want to get with this MBA, and how is it how well aware or what kind of a curious personality do you have? Do you know about what's going on? Do you know what impact this MBA
Mm.
can potentially make? Um, so yes, these insights are great to have. We don't have so many people like yourself coming out and telling the next set of cat aspirants, this is what you need to do and this is what you need to focus on. So thank you so much, Sanjana. Of course, the fact that you've been able to convert 100% of your interviews says something about you. I've been floored by this interview. It's been an absolute honor to interview someone like you. And
Thank you so much. It's all my pleasure. All my pleasure.
guys, I'm also dropping her LinkedIn link below. I know she's been getting hounded by questions because I can see the number of posts that are going around related to her. People are tagging her, the fact that she's an SRCC. I saw one of the posts that I saw was a very nice post by a lady who'd written, I felt so proud of my alma because Sanjana is from my college. And Sanjana, thank you so much for taking out time. Congratulations on your big, big achievement. And in the end, I just want to ask you, what is it that you want to tell the next set of CAT aspirants? So probably getting stressed, nervous, worried. What if I make it? What if I don't make it? If I make it, what do I do in the interview? If I do it in the interview, then what happens? So what is your just some last bit of advice for these young people who are taking CAT next?
My one piece of advice for every aspirant out there who's going to put themselves into this journey, it's going to be a mind, probably a roller coaster that you never expected. There are going to be so many twists and turns that where you will feel like giving up and you will feel like you're not good enough for something. But I would just say that have all the faith in the world that is required for you to ace this exam and to ace these interviews. Above all, please, please, please make sure that you take adequate care of your mental health and physical health in the process, because getting sick around the CAT exam is not something you can afford. So just make sure that you take very, very adequate care of your mental health also. I can't stress this enough, how important it is to wake up with a positive mindset every morning, because there'll be days, countless number of days, where you will feel like giving up because it's such a difficult exam and it's no cakewalk to crack. It just gives you so much more confidence, and just have faith in your story, your purpose, your why behind everything else, so that just some wake up that you feel like it's not worth it anymore. You look at all the way you've come just to be the person who you are today, and to be sitting for this exam or to be sitting for this interview, and just get back right up on the track.
No, that is a beautiful piece of advice, and I really like how you stress upon the mental and physical health aspect. I think we focus so much on the preparation that we forget that our body takes a toll. So thank you so much,
Right.
Sanjana. It's been an indeed a pleasure chatting with you in details over this today, and I cannot wait to see for all the good that you're going to bring to the world, during your journey in one of these great institutes and after that also. So congratulations once again. Congratulations to your family also for being such a strong support system. And we're all rooting for
Thank
you.
you so much, Nidhi.
Thank you.
To be honest, you've been such an inspiration for so many years by now that it's been an absolute pleasure for me to be sitting for the interview and be interviewed by you. I mean, I can't stress this enough, how flattering this experience has been and how much more value it added to this achievement of mine. I mean, I'm just going to keep this with me for like forever. Thank you so much for taking time out.
No, I'm telling you, it's worked two ways. You've inspired me, and I'm so glad that we connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Nidhi.